but Richard said it's like a trail of shadows leading to the sunlight. Anyway, if the weather keeps up like this is going to be one of the best sailing days we've ever had.
Welcome aboard Sailing Wind Gypsy. We're glad to have you here for our second season. This is Ginger. Here's Lisa. And I'm Richard. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Right down here. Oh, okay. All right. So we were on our way to Brunswick, but we were too tired when we were passing Fernandina. So Fernandina was our bailout. So we came into Fernandina at about 5:30, got to the anchorage about 7:30, and we didn't realize that we were landing in the middle of their big shrimp festival. And they greeted us with fireworks last night, which was very welcoming. And we come ashore today, and they are greeting us with this entire shrimp and beer festival. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's a little too early for beer.
Yeah, too early for me. I'm not in Nova Scotia.
But a lot of other stuff to look at. I told Richard I wanted one of those awesome shrimp hats, and he thought I was serious. But wow, look at all the people here. And in addition to shrimp, typical fair food with funnel cakes, fried Oreos, and corn dogs. Well, I have to say, I am so glad that we decided we were too tired to sail all night to get to the next inlet, and ended up here because this is really, really super cool. Okay, the number of dogs getting carted around in baby carriages is impressive. So, Richard got an electric waffle maker for the boat. And now he can make his famous, delicious waffles.
Oh, I didn't know they were famous.
And he saw a recipe for rice waffles, and he got really excited about trying that.
Yeah, I actually looked that up this morning, but I thought, well, for breakfast we'll have regular waffles.
The currents here are pretty wild. Here it looks like this sailboat that's anchored is coming directly towards us. The catamaran behind it is pointed in 180 degrees the opposite direction that we are, as those boats over on that side are.
So we took a little dinghy trip from the anchorage down to this little creek here, just north of Old Fernandina, just past the, I think it's a cardboard factory. And there's several small marinas along this creek. Boatlift.
I guess I was expecting high-end houses around here. I mean, it's Florida, right?
Yeah, it's nice that it's not.
Yeah, it is.
And here we have the bridge.
Go through the fenders. No tidal board. It's actually a lot higher than I would have thought. It's not listed, the height's not listed on the chart, but I guess when you're sitting here at water's level, it looks really high.
We can't get through.
Yeah. Those boats with sticks down here.
No boats with sticks. Although there's some over there in the yard.
Kind of hoping we'll see the lighthouse when we come around this corner. There's Georgia.
Yeah.
Right over there.
So definitely more residential down here. And like Richard said, Georgia is just right over there across the St. Mary's River. Georgia had the highest tides we've encountered, 8 feet and more. Here they're only about 6 to 7 feet. Oh, it looks like it really peters out here. And there it is. You can see the top of the Amelia Island Lighthouse. And if anybody's interested in buying a home on this little creek in Fernandina Beach, this property is for sale.
You know, I'm not even going to check my wallet.
Yo, you're a good girl.
Dam or just a cold bridge? Yeah, it's a bridge.
A floodgate. And here's another creek draining the salt marsh over here on the state park side.
Okay. You want to click on Navionics?
So we have now turned around and are going back down the creek. I guess we were going up the creek before. So there's a little public boat dock on the eastern side of the bridge here on the creek with a small floating dock that we tied our dinghy to. And we came up here so Ginger would have a chance to have a pee. And there's this little bait and tackle shop where Richard was able to get a new hat because he doesn't like looking like Henry Fonda on Golden Pond in his other hat. Here's part of the boat storage yard for the Fernandina Marina. And there's more storage over here and their boat lift and their docks. Anyway, anything you could ever want or need to go fishing. And Ginger's letting Richard know he can't start the boat without her. So literally, every time we start the engine, the outboard or the big boat engine, Ginger has to bark until we get it started. I'm sure she's convinced that otherwise we will never get it started. And in the distance there, you can see the submarine facility on the St. Mary River in Georgia. We're approaching the St. Mary Inlet here at Fort Clinch. Richard said we are walking on a trail of shadows leading to the sunlight on the far northern tip of Florida on the St. Mary River. So I'm at Fort Clinch right now, and really interesting that the Fort Clinch reconstruction and construction of the roads and buildings was performed by the Civilian Conservation Corps back in the Depression, 1937 to 1942 for Fort Clinch here. So even the reconstruction is now sort of historical, in addition to the fort itself being historical. This is the visitor center. It's lovely, and it is a great bargain. It's $250 to enter and tour the museum and the fort. And I am walking from the fort to the shore, And I'm going to try to get a picture of the shrimp boat coming in. And there you can see it, being followed by these birds, hoping to get a free meal. So we are on our way back, and we did land the dinghy at the state park, and I toured the fort. Richard stayed with the dinghy and Ginger because dogs aren't allowed in the fort, and he got in trouble with the popo because allegedly you are not allowed to land a dinghy on the state park. So this is one of the things we learned in North Carolina. Put your reflective insulation up so your boat doesn't bake.
Well, today's Thursday. We got here last Friday, and we didn't think we were going to be here this long, but you know, the weather keeps changing. We could leave today, but we'd be motoring the whole time, which we don't want to do. I mean, when we came up here, it was like 8 hours, and we motored for 6 of it, and you know, it's not why we have the sails, right? We want to do the wind thing. So this is not a bad place to be, and we're just going to enjoy it here. See if we can find some dolphins for you.
So one of the...
Oh, you don't want me in the picture?
Of course we do.
No.
Local color.
One of the coolest places in Fernandina Beach is Fernandina Fossils, with fossils and rocks and shark's teeth and
Don't forget the bubble maker in the free water.
free water. And they have fossil and shark's teeth finding tours and advice. We're in downtown Fernandina Beach, and it's a Saturday night, and there is this little jazz band performing in the public space. This is where the dogs hang out, the little informal dog park. There's always a bunch of dog owners here with their dogs, and they get ice cream from the ice cream store over here. But yeah, I thought they sounded really good. But Fernandina Beach here is definitely the quintessential cute little tourist town with tons of shops with great food and great handicrafts and cool things to decorate your house with.
And here is Fort Clinch from the water side. That's the fort Lisa went to visit, but they don't let dogs in, so I stayed with Ginger. So we passed this barge being escorted by 2 tugs, and we just heard the guy on the radio say, this is coming into Fernandina Beach with the big load. And the barge is registered in the Caribbean. I thought that was kind of interesting. And here's the other side of the fort, all lit up by the sun. Isn't it pretty? Well, 40. Maybe not pretty, 40.
So we were coming out St. Mary River Inlet, and this Coast Guard fast boat comes up behind us with a deck-mounted machine gun, and he stops right behind us, a little to our starboard behind us, and then he slowly turns towards us, and we're like, uh-oh, what'd we do? But then he kept turning around, and he motors away for a little bit, and then a few minutes later he zooms back up to us. He slows down as he passes us, like he's checking us out. Then he goes up the channel, and then he apparently turned around and came back. So we don't know what's going on. I assume that there's another Navy vessel coming out, maybe a submarine.
Who'd we get a call from, Lisa?
The pilot of the beach of Brunswick
And why?
because he wanted to take this big boat into the channel ahead of us.
Well, that is a pretty big boat. Orion Highway. It's a car carrier. We'll look up its specs later. But it was nice of the pilot to call us, let us know that there's better deep water outside this side of the channel than that side. Yeah.
So, what about my prediction about where we would cross?
Right on. Lisa said that that was the green marker that we would cross at, and she was so correct.
It's a little bit beyond that.
Yeah, well. We're not past it, and he's up to it. That is the ramp on the side where they load and unload the cars. It's called it's referred to as a rollo. Roll on, roll off. Actually, it's on the stern. And it might not be a rollo. Rollos might be, like Lisa just said, she doesn't know if it is a rollo. Rollos might refer only to the ones where the whole bow opens up. Or stern, yeah.
Either the stern or the bow, there's a big runway.
Say it again?
Yeah, the rollos, either at the stern or the bow, there's like a big fold down and things just roll off.
Yeah. When we left Fernandina Beach, we were hoping to get all the way up to Port Royal, but weather kind of really went to crap on us. We didn't get to sail as much as we did, so in 12 hours we sailed for 2. We got hit with a squall. All of a sudden we got full sails up with 28 knot gusts hitting us from behind, pouring rain. We ended up having the sails up and down 2 or 3 times, and we said, oh, enough of this crap. So we pulled into Brunswick, Georgia, which was one of our, jump off points. And I have to say, it did not disappoint. We're actually up in St. Simon's Island. And now, I have only really seen parks in Georgia, but I have to tell you, they are some of the most beautiful spots I've ever been. These live oaks with the Spanish moss coming off them are just incredible, much like South Carolina. Also like South Carolina, this is the lowlands, so after you get off your dinghy, you've got about a 200-yard walk up the pier to get to the land. So Ginger has to wait a little bit longer to go up and do her thing.
It was like a slasher flick. I killed a fly and...
It was against the mast, and I was standing beside the mast, and she got fly guts on me. We left the anchorage where we were at up there. Now we're gonna go around that little point of land we were beside, around the bridge, and over on the other side of the small bridge, just because we get a little less bounce. Is that a good reason to move, Lisa?
It's pretty and it's closer to shore dinghy ride for Ginger.
Yeah. And it's really just the dinghy, being in the dinghy where it starts to get a little uncomfortable and wet. In the boat, it's not bad at all.
So we came up to take Ginger over to the dinghy dock, and we'd been in the boat all day because it was really, really hot. And low tide was about an hour ago, but it was pretty shocking to see exactly how close we are to the shore. There's maybe 50 feet to the shore, to dry land. And we put the anchor out here right at about the 12-foot mark.
So at 0.1 miles, I think this is the closest we have ever been to a dinghy dock. In Little Washington, if I just went right across the river, it was only about 530 feet. If I went to the dinghy dock, it was 0.2 miles. So Yeah, that is probably the closest we've ever been to a dinghy dock. Almost missed that sunset. Been watching it, sitting here, cleaning up something on the boat, and thought, oh, I gotta go get a camera. When we came into the anchorage the other day, we knew we were going to be anchoring beside this park. But what we didn't realize was that we were going to anchor out there in front of a bench. So people can sit at this bench and look at our boat.
And here we are getting passed by a construction barge, and it's tugged just before the Creighton Narrows. If we had been in the Narrows, I'm not really sure what we would have done.
It's got a bit of a weight going on. Here's some people having fun on the River here in Georgia. One thing I have to say about Georgia is you respect those markers, son. Do not go on the other side of that marker or you will be hard aground.
So we are in beautiful Kilkenny, Georgia, just outside of Richmond Hill, just off the ICW on Kilkenny Creek, where we were anchored last night. It's the Memorial Day weekend, and there are tons of little fishing boats coming and going.
This helps explain why the water's 17 feet up to the shore, because here we are at low tide, and you can see the distance from the water to the top of the grass. Well, not the top of the grass, the top of the dark spot, bottom of the grass. Over here on this shell beach, you can see it better. That's high. That's the high tide mark. So you can get pretty close to shore when you're anchoring. A beautiful, serene moment here in Georgia. We're on the ICW, anchored. I can't remember the name of this community. I'll put it in below. Anyway, we're about 10 miles from from Savannah, rather. At the end of the day yesterday, it was time to stop. Very quiet anchorage. There's a road over there. What you're seeing in the water is a lot of the reeds from the marshes. And this was a good place for us to stop because there's a boat ramp up by that bridge. And so we can get Ginger on and off easily. We pulled anchor this morning at 8 o'clock. Just going up the channel here in Georgia. On our way to, well, hopefully South Carolina, but they're calling for thunderstorms. 93% chance of thunderstorms at 2 o'clock. I don't want to be out in thunderstorms, that's no fun. Let's see, I get a picture of Lisa on the helm here.
We are just waiting in the river as it enters the Savannah River for this guy to go by, because we got to cross the river. And in the river, the current can be pretty fast, although it's pretty close to the turn of the tide, so it's only about half a knot right now, which I guess isn't that bad. But I do never get tired of looking at these amazing behemoths.
At low tide, you can't see any of this. Maybe the tops, some of the tufts of the grass. That's why these poles are there, so you know not to go past them. Part of cruising life you don't see every day. What we doing, Lisa?
Laundry. Clean clothes. Yay!
Finding laundromats of different ports. Our friends Dave and Kim picked us up and gave us this great tour of Hilton Head Island, which is wonderful because on a boat you never get to see anything past like a 2-mile walking distance. And here's Lisa and our friend Kim enjoying the band at IP Brewery here in beautiful Hilton Head Island. You get your food over there, place your order there. Oh, and you might go into the brewery and get beer there. That's been known to happen. It's been known to happen. Good man. Even the staff here are dancing. Everyone's having a good time. Then a couple of days later, they took us out for a sail on their boat, which was so much fun. We haven't had that much fun on a boat in years because we didn't have any responsibility. Wasn't our stuff to do. Thanks again, Dave and Kim. We had a great time.
There you go. Good.
Nice being on someone else's boat here. We're on Kim and Dave's boat.
All right.
And they're doing all the work and we're just sitting back and enjoying it.
So he has you into the wind and you have
And
enough
Lisa
room?
and
Okay.
Ginger, the Ginger just being so calm. Just to let you know, cruising is not always sunshine and dolphins, is it, Lisa?
Shallow water and ground and shrimpboats.
Yeah, shallow water and grounded shrimp boats. That sucks for him. Oh well, tide's going up. This crabber in the South Modesto River here in South Carolina is not letting the bad weather slow him down, man. He's got to pull those pots no matter what the weather. And off he goes to the next one. Want a job as a crabber, Lisa?
Yum, yeah.
Yeah? Sounds like fun.
You have to be on the water all the time.
Yeah. My cousins would tell me it's probably not that much fun.
So we just went under the bridge and the tide board read 68 feet. And we have half a foot of tide above mean low water, supposedly, which means that it's a 65-foot highway bridge, which means the water is about 3 feet lower than it is expected to be right now.
That means
That's why that
yikes.
shrimp boat was aground in the channel. This is sort of cool. It's tourist season, and you can see all these people on Fort Sumter.
Raising the flag.
Oh, they're raising the flag on Fort Sumter. Ooh, you know, it might be an anniversary of something. Like the first shot of the Civil War, I don't know.
Need that woman from that time travel.
Yeah, we need the woman from that time travel series we were watching on Amazon last night. The series was sort of crappy, but it's nice to be able to pull up details of history at a moment's notice.
It is Friday, June the 6th, and we left Charleston this morning, and we hope to get to Little River, North Carolina, by about noon tomorrow. So for the second time since we started what we call year 2 of our great adventure, Lisa's feeling seasick. Ginger's feeling a little seasick too. I never get seasick. Never have. And had to lengthen the painter line. That's the line that attaches the dinghy to the boat. We had it short because that's what you want in a situation like an anchorage where you've got a lot of boats around you and you're moving around. But here we had a little too short, and it ran into us twice. So I thought, oh well, let's just make that a little longer. So, Towboat US to the rescue here, just west of Cape Fear Inlet. We are at the Little River Inlet. Sailed 23 hours to get here, and then had engine trouble, so we can't get into the inlet. Give me a sad face, Lisa. Yeah. Never a happy day when you have to call Towboat US. It's only our second time, but oh well. First time on the great adventure. Say it again.
Times it's 2 too many. One time is 1 too many. So as we come around the end of the jetty here, being towed by Towboat US, there's these two big 42, 45-foot sailboats who decide to come in right next to Towboat US. I mean, they cut the green marker really close, but they're obviously familiar with this inlet.
Our boat, Towboat US. Sad face. Oh, yeah.
So it's a busy Saturday on a sunny day here in the ICW and just north of Myrtle Beach, Little River Inlet, and super busy. And no one is giving Towboat US any quarter, but we are a vessel not under command. We're privileged over all y'all, as you say down here.
And here is Lisa at the helm, taking us down the what's the name of this section of the river?
ICW?
Oh, it's the ICW,
Little
yeah.
River, South Carolina.
Oh, this is still Little River? Yeah, of course, yeah. So we are, we've left Cricket Cove Marina after replacing our exhaust elbow, which wasn't too bad. Woo-hoo! Took us 5 days, as opposed to like 2 weeks ordering it from Europe, so that wasn't too bad. Ginger's ready, and we are headed to the anchorage at Bird Island. Hopefully everything will go right and the weather will work, that we can leave tonight and go up Cape Fear River. But if the weather goes to poop, we'll just stay there. So apparently there's horse tours here too. That's kind of neat. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these larger tour boats beach ashore. Not uncommon to see center consoles and of course pontoon boats. But yeah, first time I've ever seen the tour boats going ashore with people. It's kind of neat. We'll be ashore a little later, taking Ginger over to make her happy, Ginger. We're anchored here. We are anchored here at the Little River Inlet. You can see our dinghy and our boat. Here's our dog, the reason we're anchored. And Lisa, tell us why this is the first time you've been here. You didn't come over last year.
Because it was like 34 degrees. And somebody had to stay on the boat in case Richard fell over or got swept out to sea, so I could call the Coast Guard from the boat.
That was like December 15th. Much warmer today on June 12th. Sometimes sailing at night when it's rough means you just have to stay down and babysit your dog, who doesn't quite like the rolling so much. And yeah, we're not that fond of it sometimes either. So we left Bird Island at about 9 o'clock at night, went across, had no problem. It was a little choppy, but it's okay. Then we went up the Cape Fear River, went through the cut,
and then went all the way down to Carolina Beach. And spoiler alert, we made it!